Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm just gonna have to probably mute up my computer so it doesn't give me the feedback. Uh, so let me go. I have to come over here. It's all very complicated. Not really. Let's do that one. Let me just see if I can sort this out. Play. We'll have some random stuff just playing in the background there. I'll come over here a bit more. Uh, so what I would really wanted to chat about today is a bit of an app that I've been developing. Over the years, I have had to build my own websites. I have tried to build them from scratch using like PHP, JavaScript, and stuff like that. I'd also tried to make some apps through the .NET framework, through other frameworks, through progressive web apps, iOS. Failed miserably with all of them, by the way. Um, but the advent of what's it called? AI means that the little bit that I was missing, which was generally if I had to send something to the terminal and like run like this thing called Node.js in the background, I would just simply not be able to do it. And so I discovered this place where you can, I think a lot of people call it vibe coaching, in that you kind of don't really have to know how to do anything. You just, as long as you know the language and how to structure, what's the word, like data within a data table and database, and then how to retrieve it and how you can sort it. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to develop stuff. And so for the time being, this is what we call a progressive web app. What you can do is, if you visit the site on your phone and go into like the little options, you can actually set a home screen, and a progressive web app essentially stores some information on your phone in the browser, and it operates like a web page, but it can pull in information off your phone, so it will work like a GPS on your phone. Um, and so, yeah, if we look at this, the first thing is, let's go to the roots. So what I've done to start with is effectively seed this with all of the walks from my Snowdonia Mountain Walks and Scrambles guidebook, by Rockfax. And the reason that I've done that is the Rockfax app, which is amazing at the rock climbs and the scrambling, doesn't really cater for the hill walkers. So I specifically focused on adding those routes. So it's kind of an accompaniment to the physical book. Must have a copy. Yeah, to this physical book. And so, yeah, what we have is, again, you'll see all of the routes. We've got 72 of them in Wales at the moment. You go to region, they're all in North Wales because that's where they're from. I haven't uploaded or sorted this out yet, but I have sorted this issue here. But, let's say we wanted to go to the Carneddau. Here's all the routes in the Carneddau. It kind of gives a difficulty rating, which is done computationally. But all of the details. So if you go, where's a nice one? I don't know. Let's go to the Cwm Clywar Horseshoe. You can view details, and there's an overview shot, a little description, a complete route description. You then have the weather at the start point today. I need to add in that these are valley level forecasts. So this is the forecast from Bethesda. So you need to work out that if you're going, how far does it go up? Does it? Yes, it goes up 700 meters. So you're going to get like at least 7 degrees less. So it's going to be feeling about zero around the summits. Yeah, the route, and then you can come in here and you can see this. You can also, if you just go to the map, I won't zoom into my location because it will show my house. And that's something, you can go through here. You could start recording on your route and you can just walk it and then it will save it as a route. Again, there are mechanisms, so any route has to go through an admin process. And one of the things I will be is probably quite strict in that anything that's from like people's houses will be stuck to private. There'll be some short local walks, but then there'll be other walks that are all shared, shared with the whole community. You can plan a route. So again, you can just do this, and you can either save it and stuff like that. There are some issues. There's some things with this where it actually loads elevation model in the background to get all the altitudes from the GPX, which is basically what GPSs use. So you could plan here, upload it to your actual GPS if you've got one. If not, it will load onto your phone, and that can be used. And then what else we got in here? You can have your trips, upload a route, and just if you just want the map. So those are the things. The routes. If we just go to upload a route, you will need a GPX file. If sometimes you do not get a decent GPX file from a phone alone, because the phone sometimes doesn't have an altimeter in it and doesn't know how to calculate that, so everything's to zero. If that's the case, I will probably have to redo the route through the planner to sort of bring that in line. You need to have a photo and you need to do the description, and then we've got Scotland, England and Wales. I've kind of broken the Scotland down into those areas. This is England, and then there's smaller regions, and again I've got all this so I can add to it or edit it if we find that the way that I've divided up the country at random doesn't work for people. A brief overview and the full description. The other thing that I've added is a nature guide. Now, years ago, somebody had kind of done one of these, but it was a fixed paradigm in that they uploaded what they had and that was it fixed. So with mine, there is, so I'm going to take you to my favorite page, which is you go in here. And I just knew that people are going to share dogs on this, and I want them to. So I've put a special place where you can upload, and everybody can upload photos of their dogs on walks. I think and they can add a little caption. If you get more pictures of feral goats, you can add them down here, and there'll be voting systems on that. If you go back to the guide, there's plants, so we've got flowers. Some of you can then click on this, and again people can add this. If we go back to, I think, flowers, we can search by only white flowers, only yellow flowers, all colors, but we'll have bell-shaped heads versus P versus radial. So we've got fairly good. Again, if you go back to plants, you can contribute. So you can go in here, and if you've got a new species name, so you have to choose the plant type, whether it's a flower, shrub, blah, blah, blah. It all goes through moderation. I'm trying to put in a common name, a Latin name, local name. I haven't put in many actual local names as I'm not Welsh language, but again, people can come and edit these things, or at least suggest names, and we'll try and update it. But effectively what I want is to curate what people put in, and so essentially this is going to be this is your typical plants. So we've got flowers, trees, ferns, club mosses, grasses, go back, obviously we've got lichen and fungi because they're slightly different. We've got this geology stuff, uh, folding. He's got like some micro folding in slate, some syncline stuff. Um, just some basic stuff. Again, I haven't really started adding to this yet. I really focused on the roots to start with. I did kind of seed this with the stuff that I had readily available. The other thing is like geology, so glacial features. I was very nice, to get some photos from Antarctica of actual glaciers, erratic boulders, Kumsirk's quarries, a photo of a Nunatak from when I was in Antarctica, Roche Moutonne, striation, so I kind of want it to be slightly educational. Go back, and then the myths and legends is if we just let's go what we've got in myths and legends. So I've put the legend of Grey Cheek Boclwyd, which is again, it's if you come in on the map, you get this. You've got the old grey man of Ben Macdui. Again, that is a AI photograph of somewhere not Ben Macdui, but I've definitely got one somewhere. When I set it all up, I asked the AI to come up with some science stuff. So here it's got Brocken Spectre again. Its entry is from up in Scotland, but again, it can be anywhere. A lot of these things are ancient sites. Have I added any ancient sites? Oh yeah, so like Porthrandeli in China Works, and there's a hill fort here as well. Again, these are just things I haven't actually started adding to them yet, but the idea is people will be able to. So I've got Union Rock, Punta Devil, Punt Fin, the Castle Gwinnett. These are kind of like points of interest that you can see around the mountains of the UK. So there'll be more added. So things like the Crusher, things like Gladstone Rock. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that we could add, and then eventually that will be displayed on the map as you're walking around. So if you walk past something, you can maybe like, I wonder what that's about. And yeah, so that is basically the idea behind this app. I don't think you need to say anything else, but yeah, it's very basic at the moment. It does have functionality, so you can add animals. Again, they have to go through like an admin process. So, I know that everything's been. I think I've approved everything. I think went through that today. So yeah, basically, if you think you would be interested in beta testing this, then drop me an email or contact me via like Facebook, YouTube, however you're seeing this, Twitch, I think I'm even on. And I can send you a link. It's a little bit more complicated because I'm trying to save myself pennies at the moment. In order for it to work for you, you have to go to this company called Mapbox. They, if you like, they're the equivalent. They they have a really good outdoor map, which is why I chose them. And essentially, when you join up, you have to give your bank details, but you can only see the start of it. I don't want to display my whole thing, so I'm not going to click on it. But as you can see, I've uploaded those 72 routes, so I've been using the map a lot, moving around, and I've managed to go through 3,000 of the 100,000 tile queries you get, and just 115 out of 50,000. So the chances are you won't get charged for it unless you've given your key to other people. With the eventual idea, hopefully, to turn this app into a subscription model. the I guess they call it the roadmap is to try and get all of this stuff functioning like it is, um, and then work on like a hill skills section that will cover navigation without a GPS, navigation with a GPS, planning and preparation, weather, route finding, and lots of different stuff. Um, the one thing I don't really want to cover here is the scrambling, for the sheer reason that I think the much better app for the scrambling routes that we have in this guide here is the existing Rock Facts app. And I have stopped and I will stop the GPS tracks. If people start uploading, North Ridge of Triv and Cribgoch and stuff to this app, I will not let it come on, because I don't believe GPS is the right choice for people going into that terrain. Essentially, people that have got their heads down using a GPS aren't looking around them, and the GPS won't, especially on some, cliff faces, you instantly lose half of the sky, so you lose half of the possible GPS satellites, which reduces the actual accuracy of the little blue dot. It also creates like bouncing echo, so it can confuse it even further. And actually, what you need to be doing on scrambles isn't looking at a GPS, it's active visual route finding. I think the only scrambles that are basically in it is Icribin, the South Ridge, Icribin, because it talks about using the easy bit to the side rather than the actual ridge. The South Ridge of Triven, because it suggests a much easier way up, and only up and down the South Ridge, and even then says don't follow the GPS. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's any other there's a couple of things which have got scrambling steps on, like if you come down towards Penelithrigreg or whatever it is from Carneth, I think it's Llewellyn, Carneth Llewellyn, down towards Clariesfa, there's one rock step there, but it does explain there's a rock step and you can't get around it. Yeah, so I'd be really interested to hear of anybody that would like to try beta testing this app. And if you think of any other, what's the word? Any other kind of features you'd like? Ooh, yeah, and there we have it. Thanks for your time. I will try and do this more often. I basically haven't been live on here. I would often be live not on my actual Facebook page. I'd be live on my Snowdonia Mountain Guides page and all business pages. I just thought I'd try differently to see if I get a different clientele. This is rather than the people I teach, which is probably what my work things are like. I wanted more people who might be using this as their work. So what do they call it? Yeah, my colleagues rather than possible students. we're in Marrakesh in the background. Of course that. Yeah, and thank you for your time. We shall. I'll get back to you during the week, hopefully, and I'll come back with some more random online stuff, and I'll see whether this was better than the work sites. Yeah, I just need to just stop it all. So bye bye.